Hello, welcome back to the channel, or welcome along if you're new. If you are new, please hit the subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and you get to know when I'm bringing new videos out. And also, if you like this, give us a thumbs up. That'd be much appreciated. It all helps. Thank you very much. So, part 14 now. In part 13, we fitted all this nose section. Ignore the masking tape. The reason for this is I have to take this apart again because I'm going to be repainting stuff and adding some detail and stuff. So there we go. So if you want to see that done, stay tuned. You'll see that coming very, very shortly. My plan has been, as I mentioned in part 13, is to get this one out of the way, and then this is my third or fourth delivery, I think this is. Once that's out of the way, then I'll go back and do the corrections, and then we can start part 15 with the corrected, modified bit. There's not a lot that he's doing. It is a very, very nice model, as you can see. The detail in here is stunning. Let's get the light on so you can see it a bit better. You can see the detail in here is absolutely superb. It is a beautiful, beautiful model. We're going to find a way to close that gap up because we don't like that. And go from there. But no, very, very nice indeed. So let's get on and have a look with what's coming in part 14. So as usual, we'll have a look at the magazine first. So I'll turn the light out because it's not good to have lights on with glossy paper around. So that's the bag cut open, so we can take out our box, which is quite weighty, and put the bag to one side, and we'll have a look at what we've got in the magazine. So we'll get that out of the way up there. Right, so let's have a look in here. So we've got, as usual, we've got the contents of the magazine. We've got a picture there of the development model, and we've also got here, we've got the all the bits and pieces here for contacting people around the world. Now, somebody commented when I did part 11, I think it was. They commented, it's actually Jason. I think it's Jason, his name. Is it Jason? No, it's not Jason, is it? B.III. Alex. Sorry, Alex. He commented they'd removed Australia, and Australia is still here. It's not removed. So he said something about the back. Yeah, so whatever, but Australia, you still have customer service in Australia. No doubt this will be made available in Australia because it's so popular. The Lancaster is so popular in Australia, is what I meant to say. So, that's what we're getting in this part. This is the main spar for the wings. Further details are fitted to the cockpit, and the floor panel and wing support are fixed to the assembly. Okay, so we've got some screws here to be using, so we'll be getting our taps out. Here we've got our build sequence, so we're going to be fitting our nose and everything, and then we're going to add our floor, and then we're going to add the wing spar, and it's all going to look like that. So that's going to be lovely. Okay, the Battle of Berlin. The RAF's bombing campaign against the big city in 1943-44 resulted in the loss of hundreds of Lancaster bombers for little result. That's normally the case with war, isn't it? Death and destruction with not much to sort of say for it. It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy. So you can see there, absolutely annihilated. The damage to Berlin during the bombing offensive was extensive. 27% of the city's built-up area was destroyed, but it did not cripple the Third Reich's war effort. You kind of think area bombing, what is the point? But, there we go, some statistics down there. And then we've got a bit about the B-17. Beautiful aircraft. The Boeing B-17 was the mainstay of the US 8th Army Air Force's daylight bombing campaign in Europe during World War II. It was arguably the most famous bomber of the whole conflict. It's certainly one of the prettiest, but then, you know, opinions may vary there. But I know that I think it was 74,000 US airmen lost their lives in this. It's just crazy. So there we are. Eyewitness raid on Schweinfurt. That was where the bearings were made, wasn't it? So there we are, and there's some B-17s there in the factory. They're nice glossy aluminium there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then here we've got what's coming in part 15. And we've got the rest there. We've got some bottles there, and a box of some sort. There we go. So there we are. Right, so let's have a look in here. So we'll check our parts as usual. It's not going to be too difficult, is it? So we've got beautifully packaged parts again. Really nicely done, as usual. And we've got some paper here to go in the recycling. So there we have our main wing spar. Very nice indeed. So We'll put that to one side, and then we've got some screws to go with it. I've still got the floor section here from part 13. So let's have a look. Right, as usual, we're going on. We've got to search our box again now. I'm never going to find any of this. Okay, so take the nose blister 03H and fit it on the front of the model. Pegs on the rim of part 3 fit into holes in the fuselage. Check the fit carefully. You may find you need to file away the peg on the port window 01J for a better fit. Apply a little glue to fix part 03H in place. Okay, so what they're telling us here is we may need to file away the peg on the port window, okay, to get a better fit. Alright, so let's grab a nose blister. Here's one. I should have two of these. Here's one straight away. I found it. And then this is simple. Let's get the light on for you. And let's get these instructions out of the way. You can see now, if you remember back in parts 1 and 2 and everything, I said about not fitting this antenna and not fitting this pitot tube. You can see how vulnerable they would be. And that's why I didn't fit them. So that's going to go in there, that's going to go in there, and I don't need to do anything. That just fits on there beautifully. So obviously when we come to finally build this, we will actually glue that in place. I'm just wondering, yeah, if we close that up, it still fits lovely. So what I may do is put some epoxy or something in there. I'll put some super glue in there to clamp it all together and get some black super glue, run it around. But we'll do that when we put it all together properly. So there's the front of our Lancaster. Doesn't she look beautiful? Doesn't she look great? And when you're doing yours, you should have 3 wires coming out of here. Don't worry, I haven't got that light in there because I can't make it stay in there without glue. And as you know, I don't want to glue it in yet. So there we go. Right. So that's that done. Now we've got to fit the turtle deck assembly, which is here. So that's basically got 2 tabs on it, and that's going to go into these 2 rectangular holes here. So that's going to literally pop in like that. There we go. There we go, that's gone in like that, so that's all lovely. And then it's telling us to fit this floor. Now it would be more sensible to do that after you've fitted that. So I'm going to take that off for fear of breaking that DF loop off. So we've got the 3 screws. So we've got the floor here that came with part 13, and we've got screws BM. Now these I believe were 2.2 millimeters because I looked in the book, and these screws are BM, and these screws that come with the wing spar are also BM. So we can look at the beginning of the book and it will tell us here, and it says 4 2.2 by 4 millimeter PM screws. So there we go. So PM means metal, so I'm going to tap them. So as I've shown you before, you can go and get yourself one of these. Check out Micro Taps and Dies. Go and get yourself a little set. Absolutely worth their weight in gold. So much better than just graunching them in. And we can take the tap out here. We're using the bottoming tap, not the first tap, the first taper tap. And we're not using a tap wrench. We're going to use a pin chuck, just like so. And that way we can tighten that up and we can cut our threads. So the holes, they're going to cut holes in there, or tap the holes in there. So what I'm going to do is move that out of the way. I'm going to grab a bin, which has got some silicone in it, and I'm going to tap these holes over that bin so that the metal filings go into the bin. Now if you're tapping metal normally, you should go like 1 turn forward, half a turn back. But with this soft material, it doesn't really matter. So you can just screw the tap in and it will cut absolutely fine. Okay. I managed to get that one locked in there. Okay, so I didn't want that to happen on camera. I'll show you what to do in an emergency. You take, in the box, you have these parts that fit into the die wrench. And I've picked up the wrong one. Okay, and what you do, the reason it's locked in there is because I didn't wind it back. So what you want to do is go 1 turn in. I'll show you now on the next one. So that's going to fit onto there, is it not? No, it's not. So I'm going to have to get a pair of pliers. This is the thing with these great Chinese products that we keep buying. Just going to wind that out like that. Just break the lock, and then we can unscrew it properly. Okay, and that's a result of not doing it properly. All right, if you do it properly, it will work. Just get rid of that swarf in there. So I'm going to get the tap out of here. I'll show you how to do it properly. Right. So what you do is you go in and you go like one turn, half a turn back, one turn, half a turn back, one turn, half a turn back, one turn, half a turn back. Just like so, and then it shouldn't get locked in there. Of course, the other thing you can do is lubricate the tap. That will make life a lot better. You're supposed to do that anyway when you tap a thread. We're just going to check that one. Yeah, that's all lovely. Now what some people do is put a drop of oil on the screw and wind it in. I don't like doing that. I'm an engineer. That to me is not the correct way to do things. So what we're going to do now is take this floor and fit it on there, just like so. And then we're going to take our screwdriver. It'd be best to lay this on its side. And we're going to put a screw in, and you can see that I can just wind that screw in and tighten it up. No graunching. No drops of oil, because the trouble is when you start using oil, especially with this matte paint, it will spread and you'll end up with a dark circle around every screw. There we go. And then lastly, this one here. And that's that. So just check them all tight. Don't go trying to graunch them up because you'll strip the threads. There we are, so that's that in place. Now it does look like we've got a bit of an angle on there, doesn't it? So we'll check that with a straight edge. Yes, it looks like we've got a bit of an angle, so something to check when you do yours. Loosen these screws off a touch. Let's see how much play we've got. As you can see, it's possible to get it not straight, so what we'll do is hold it like that, tighten the screws. What I'm doing is pushing it into my belly just to put pressure on. I'm pushing the floor back to keep it square as I tighten the screws up. So there we go, that's that all done nicely. Right, and then that's it showing that floor in place. And now we're going to turn this over and we're going to fit this spar. So we've got this wing spar here. Again, we've got these screws. So we'll get these out. These are the same screws as we had for the floor section. And we're going to fit this spar into here. So basically this is going to go that way up. And those three holes are going to receive a thread. And once again, we're going to tap those three holes with a 2.2mm tap. So we're going to go in nice and straight. I'm going to go one turn. There we go. And we'll do the same for the other two. And there we are. Got the three threads in there now. You can see those holes are threaded rather than just graunching screws in. So basically this is going to go on top of here like that. Yeah, that's the correct way, isn't it? Yeah, and that is going to turn over and we are going to put three screws. Oh, come on. You put three screws in here. Put one in the center. One either side. Come on, Lige, get your bloody act together, mate. Oh dear, dear, dear. There we go, right. So that's gone in there, all nice and tight. So that's our wing spar fitted. Clearly there's going to be more screws going in there, so we'll have more threads to tap. But for now, that's it. And we'll put this turtle deck on. I would seriously consider leaving this off, actually. The same as this tank here, because you can imagine when we come along to here and we start fitting bits and pieces, you know, into the Bombay and stuff, it's just going to get snapped. So probably best put that to one side, same as that there. You're also going to have to be very careful of your guns. But I'm also wondering, would it be better to fit the turret after you fitted the side pieces on? I guess it would make it harder to get the cable in. Yeah, we'll have to have a look at that. But when we put the wings, you can see this turret is all flopping about. Maybe put a rubber band around it or a bit of masking tape or something. But when we come to fit the top, you can see here that when we come to fit the windshield and everything, or the canopy, should I say, the cockpit glazing it's called. When we come to fit this like that, that is going to go into the top of the turret like that, and that is all going to go down. As you can see, that will hold your turret down. Alright, now I'm hoping there's going to be some way of clamping this down, because as you can see, we've got a massive gap there. Maybe when it's all glued it'll be okay, but that really does need to be pulled down there. It only seems to be on that side. I'm sure we can cover it somehow. Maybe that's been bent down there, but anyway, end of the day, it's all going to look lovely. And I mean, you can always just glue it closed if you're not worried about being able to lift it off to look inside. But there we go. So that is actually not officially part of the instructions, but that's what we've got now. So here you can see we have our model, just as it shows in the instructions there. We've got it all together. The bomb aimer's blister and the turtle deck Bombay roof and main spar have been fitted to the model. So yeah, remember that the floor is also referred to as the Bombay roof. But as you can see now, you can get an idea of the size of this thing. It's getting bloody heavy. I've got a little set of scales here. I think they only go up to like 5 kilos, or maybe even 2 kilos. But let's see how heavy this thing is. Okay, it goes up to 10 kilos, obviously. It's 6.4 kilos already. Look at that. Wow. So this thing is going to weigh a ton when it's done. Especially you've got the metal sides to go on. I'm assuming the wings will be plastic. But maybe the inner wings will be metal and the outer wings will be plastic. But yeah, really is quite something, isn't it? It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. So there we go. That's been part 14. Stay tuned for part 15, and as I say, in the meantime, I'm going to take all this apart and repaint it and redo things, and I'll make a video all about what I'm doing. So I will see you all soon for that one. Thank you very much, and bye for now.